Today we are talking about players the Lions could go ahead and acquire currently that are on the free agent market before NFL training camp. Why is that? Because they had a chance in OTAs and minicamp to kind of see what they have currently on the roster, and maybe they would like to add a couple of players to put in there for competition. And there's players in the free agent market that can help the Detroit Lions. Now, in this video, most of it is on the defense, getting after the quarterback at certain positions. So we're going to go ahead and talk about these players and what it would mean for the Detroit Lions. Could they make it on this team? Could they help out and all of that? But before we get into today's video, if you're a fan of the Detroit Lions and you're not subscribed, I say, what in the hell? Because I've been doing this for 4 years, and all we do is talk Detroit Lions news and rumors, off-season, in-season, NFL draft, free agency, post and pre-game shows, all sorts of Lions stuff for you. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and get in this video right now. For the Lions fans out there that's not watching content every single day, I'll do a little bit of a recap for you in free agency. The Lions re-signed Alex Anzalone, Isaiah Buggs, John Kaminsky, Will Harris, and quarterback Nate Sudfeld. We lost DJ Chark, Jamal Williams, Deshaun Elliott, and Mike Hughes, but the Lions did great job in free agent signings by getting Cameron Sutton, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, David Montgomery, Emmanuel Mosley, Marvin Jones Jr., Graham Glasgow, and Jermaine Ifedi. So the Lions did get some players here to help the team out with those free agent losses. So I'm going to ask you a question before we get into it. Name one player, one free agent you would like the Detroit Lions to sign in the comments section below. Start a conversation. I'm curious to see what you think, folks. Now, after we do the mini camps and OTAs, you look at what potential holes could there be for the Detroit Lions. I'm going to be straight for you. I'm going to keep it 100. There is not a lot of holes at all for this football team. Maybe you want to have a little more competition upon the defensive line, maybe at wide receiver. So that's where you can look towards the free agent market to acquire some players. And we're a team that's close to, competing for the NFC Championship itself. I mean, the Lions are thriving high, so maybe they want to get a couple free agents or a free agent here or there to kind of throw in the mix of players, not necessarily be an automatic starter, but a rotational player. So we look at some of these guys, and I simply put on here, we are looking at the targets of rotational players, and the first guy on my list that I have that is a free agent, how about Myles Jack? He's a linebacker that was released by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was on the Jacksonville Jaguars for some time. Myles Jack is a 27-year-old veteran, and he has some play left on the field. 104 tackles last year, 1 quarterback hit, and he played in 15 games. Now, again, this would be a player that could help out upon the defensive line as well as in coverage. It would be a player that can help the Lions in rotation. We're not talking about an every down starter, anything like that. But when you have players upon the defensive line that we've talked about, Joshua Pascal, we got James Houston, who's in that hybrid type of role. You got players like Malcolm Rodriguez, linebacker, Derek Barnes, Alex Anzalone, and Jack Campbell. Maybe, just maybe, you'd like to throw another player in there for rotational period itself. To me, look, it makes sense if you do it like that. Have players that can be there on rotation to help out the defense and provide a great depth at multiple positions. We're talking about a team that's trying to compete for the NFC Championship. And if you look at like the Philadelphia Eagles out there, they've had so many names on that football team last year. That's generally what they do. Before we get to the rest of the free agents, I'd like to do a shout out to today's sponsor of this video. That's NordVPN. NordVPN is striving to make the internet a better place than it is today. It can be free from online threats, censorship, and surveillance. Get your online security package now by visiting nordvpn.com/lionscs. Get 4 months for free by using the link in the description and comment section when you purchase the NordVPN 2-year plan. So this is what NordVPN is going to provide for you. NordVPN gives you online protection with a single click. Even when traveling, you can set your location to your home so you don't miss out on your favorite content. It'll keep you safe from malware and threat protection, and it's the fastest VPN on the planet. And all of this is simple as a click. You choose your location, click connect. NordVPN won't track you or share what you do online. Your data is always protected by next generation encryption. So get started now. Click the link in the description or comments. That's nordvpn.com/LionsCS to get 4 months for free of NordVPN and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Next player on my list is obviously someone that's been connected in the fan base as well as been talking about him. That is DeAndre Hopkins, the released wide receiver from the Arizona Cardinals. Why were the Lions always in the mix here? Because you have Jameson Williams, who has been suspended for the first 6 games, so they're looking for the Lions to have a dynamic offense. And if you look what he did last year, he was injured, so not a whole lot. 9 games, 64 receptions, 3 touchdowns, 717 yards. But if the Lions are looking to be absolutely dynamic at that position, he's like, you know what? We need to get a player to really be a threat in the NFC and to upgrade the wide receiver room. They could do just that. Now, he is visiting multiple teams. He's visiting the New England Patriots. He did the Tennessee Titans, so he's doing his rounds. Maybe the Lions would look at him to help upgrade the wide receiver room. So I got a question for you. Would you sign DeAndre Hopkins? Put S for sign or P for pass. Let me know in the comments below. Personally, when I look at DeAndre Hopkins, I don't think we really need to get him. He's going to cost a pretty penny. The rumors around $15 million for him this year. Now, the Lions got the cap space, but we also got pretty good depth at the wide receiver position, but you never know. Maybe they'd like to upgrade the position. Next player on my list is Shelby Harris, the interior defensive lineman that was released by the Seattle Seahawks. And you look what he did last year. He had 6 solo tackles, 20 assists, 5 tackles for loss, and 6 quarterback hits. And you ask, why would the Lions want to get him? Because you beef up the interior. I think of all the positions on the team, the interior may be the weakest, and it's not saying it's weak. It's just because of all the positions are pretty good for the Detroit Lions, but you could get another body in there for rotation, and that would be really good because I don't think Levi Onwuzurike is going to be on this football team. And there's nothing wrong with getting bigger bodies up in there. Yeah, we drafted Broderick Martin, we got Ali McNeil, and we got some other players that they picked up in free agency and last year in the draft. But there's nothing wrong with getting better depth. And I think you put him and Isaiah Buggs and all the other players together on that interior defensive line, and I'd feel a little more comfortable having another player in that room. Another player for the Detroit Lions they could look at, how about Yannick Ngakoue, the edge rusher that was released by the Indianapolis Colts. Now, he's been on multiple teams, and you said, there's no way, we don't need a guy that's been on multiple teams. He's old. He is not someone that you want on this football team. Well, not necessarily. Last year, he played in 15 games. He had 9.5 sacks, 16 quarterback hurries, and 11 tackles for loss. Quarterback hits, sorry. 11 tackles for loss. See, he is a player that's still getting great production for his age. And again, when you're looking to make a Super Bowl run, when you're looking to make an NFC Championship run, you want to consistently fill your defensive line and pass rushers to the max. If you remember in 2011, we used to have just pass rusher after pass rusher, and it was really good for the Lions defense. And maybe they can get a Yannick Ngakoue to add him to Romeo Okwara, to add him to Joshua Pascal, Aiden Hutchinson, a veteran that can still get it done. Personally, I wouldn't mind this. I'm not saying that we should go ahead and get him, but there's nothing wrong with getting players that can consistently get pass rush and have more rotation. The Lions have been connected to trade rumors of Chase Young, maybe Chase Young and third-round pick to the Commanders. Maybe you could throw in there Julian Okwara for that matter, to get another pass rusher, or you could just go ahead and sign one like Yannick Ngakoue. And lastly, and surely not least, how about continue to beef up the interior defensive line with a former Detroit Lions and Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh is still a damn good player, even though he's long in the tooth. You don't need him to be the guy. He's just a rotational player at this stage of his career. The issue with Ndamukong Suh is he may not want to come right now. He may want to do a situation like the Philadelphia Eagles where he came in halfway, a little past halfway through the season, where he can make a run at another Super Bowl. Last year, he played in 8 games. He had 2 quarterback hits, 1 sack, 0 tackles for loss. Again, he was just a rotational defensive lineman. He was not the main guy. And having a player of Ndamukong Suh's caliber on this football team would not be a bad thing. He likes the team. He believes the Lions are a playoff contender. He likes the direction. He loves the city of Detroit. And it's not going to cost the Lions much at all to add Ndamukong Suh to this defensive line. You may have to wait, though. This may be a situation where, you know what, you're going to have to wait for halfway through the season. But when you're looking to completely win in the playoffs and make a legit run, there's nothing wrong with looking at every single player that's on the free agent market to acquire some talent. And I'm not going to lie, I would love to have Ndamukong Suh back on the Honolulu Blue and Silver before he retires, because I love Ndamukong Suh. I love what he brought to this football team when he was here. He's a fan favorite, and I'd like to cheer the crowd again saying Sue in the stands of Ford Field. But folks, we're dropping videos nearly every single day, and the NFL season is coming close. You want to make sure you're subscribed. You hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. And we're live on every single Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. With that said, folks, adios.